Today we're diving into the biggest names in fishing, the brands that shaped the entire sport. From Shimano and Daiwa to Rapala and Penn, we're breaking down the 12 most well-known fishing brands and what made each one a legend in its own way. Let's start with the absolute king of the fishing world, Shimano. They didn't just stumble into their position as the global leader in reels and rods. This Japanese powerhouse has been perfecting their craft since 1921, and their obsession with precision engineering shows in every product they make. What sets Shimano apart isn't just their quality, it's their relentless innovation. They were the first company to introduce the modern bait runner system. They pioneered cold forging technology for reel gears, and their Hagan gear systems are still considered the gold standard for durability. When professional anglers need equipment they can stake their reputation on, Shimano consistently tops the list. Their reels feature impossibly smooth drag systems and gear ratios that have been tested to handle everything from delicate trout presentations to brutal tuna battles. Right behind Shimano sits their biggest rival, Daiwa. Founded in 1958, this Japanese manufacturer built their reputation on one simple promise. Every reel that leaves their factory has to perform flawlessly under pressure. Daiwa's engineers are absolute perfectionists when it comes to bearing placement, drag washers, and internal components. Their mag-sealed technology keeps water and debris out of critical areas, which explains why their reels maintain that buttery, smooth performance season after season. The company's air rotor design revolutionized spinning reel construction by making them incredibly lightweight without sacrificing strength. Professional tournament anglers swear by Daiwa because when you're competing for hundreds of thousands of dollars, equipment failure simply isn't an option. Now, if you're talking saltwater fishing, one name rises above all others. Penn has been the go-to choice for serious saltwater anglers since 1932, and there's a damn good reason why. These reels are built like tanks because they have to be. Saltwater fishing means dealing with corrosive environments, massive fish, and conditions that would destroy lesser equipment. Penn's full metal body construction and HT100 drag systems can handle the kind of punishment that comes with battling marlin, tuna, and sharks. Their international series reels have been pulling giant fish out of the ocean for decades, and many of the original models from the 1960s are still fishing today. When charter boat captains need reels that can handle multiple trips per day with paying customers, they reach for Penn. But let's talk about a brand that owns the bass fishing world. Garcia started in Sweden back in 1941, but they found their true calling when they entered the American bass market. These guys understand bait casting reels like nobody else. Their Revo and Ambassador series have become legendary among bass anglers because they deliver the precise control needed for technique-specific fishing. What makes Garcia special is their focus on the details that matter most to bass fishermen. Low-profile designs that feel comfortable in your hand all day, magnetic and centrifugal braking systems that prevent backlash, and gear ratios perfectly matched to different techniques. They sponsor some of the biggest names in professional bass fishing because their equipment consistently performs when the pressure is on. Speaking of legendary brands, we need to talk about the company that changed lure fishing forever. Rapala's story started in Finland in 1936 when a young fisherman named Lauri Rapala carved a wooden minnow that swam with an irresistible wounded fish action. That original design became the foundation for what's now the world's most recognizable fishing lure. The classic Rapala wobble has fooled millions of fish across the globe, but the company didn't stop there. Today, they manufacture everything from tackle boxes to fillet knives, but it's their lures that built the empire. The original floating Rapala, the Countdown series, and the X-Rap family have become standard equipment in tackle boxes worldwide because they simply catch fish when other lures fail. If you want to see real innovation in fishing baits, look no further than Berkley. This company revolutionized the entire bait industry when they introduced power bait back in the 1980s. Before Berkley, artificial baits were just pieces of plastic or rubber that looked like something fish might eat. Berkley changed everything by developing scent and flavor formulas that actually trigger feeding responses in fish. Their research facility tests thousands of scent combinations to create baits that don't just look realistic. They smell and taste like real prey. The power bait formula for trout fishing became so effective that it's now the standard bait at stocked trout lakes across the country. But they didn't stop with trout. Their Gulp series of saltwater baits outfishes live bait in many situations because the scent dispersion is so much stronger than natural options. Now here's something that'll blow your mind. If you're enjoying this deep dive into fishing brands, you need to hit that subscribe button because we're just getting started. We've got so much more to cover, and trust me, some of these brand stories are going to surprise you. And let's talk about a brand that became famous for making rods that are literally impossible to break. Ugly Stik didn't win any beauty contest when they hit the market, but they proved that sometimes function trumps form. These rods are built with a graphite and fiberglass composite that creates an almost indestructible blank. You can bend an Ugly Stik into a complete circle and it'll snap right back to its original shape. The company's marketing team used to run ads showing trucks driving over their rods without causing any damage. That wasn't just marketing hype, these rods really are that tough. For beginning anglers who might not have perfect technique yet, or for situations where equipment takes a beating, Ugly Stik provides peace of mind that no other rod manufacturer can match. But here's where things get really interesting in the rod world. Loomis represents the absolute pinnacle of rod craftsmanship, and their price tags reflect that premium positioning. Founded in 1982 by Loomis, this company builds rods that are so sensitive you can feel a fish thinking about biting your lure. Their blanks are constructed using proprietary graphite materials and manufacturing processes that create rods with incredible backbone while maintaining hair trigger sensitivity. Professional guides and tournament anglers pay top dollar for Loomis because when you're making your living on the water, you need every advantage possible. These rods transmit vibrations through the blank so efficiently that experienced anglers can tell the difference between their lure hitting sand, gravel, or a submerged log. The GLX and NRX series have become legendary among serious anglers who demand the absolute best performance money can buy. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum sits Zebco, the brand that probably taught more Americans how to fish than any other company in history. Since 1949, Zebco has been producing affordable, user-friendly equipment designed specifically for beginners and casual anglers. Their iconic push-button spin-cast reels eliminated the learning curve that comes with traditional spinning or bait casting equipment. Millions of kids caught their first fish using a Zebco 33, and that simple push-button design is still virtually unchanged after 7 decades. What Zebco understood early on was that fishing should be accessible to everyone, regardless of skill level or budget. Their combos might not win any performance awards, but they've introduced countless people to the sport without breaking the bank or causing frustration. Speaking of accessible fishing, Okuma has carved out an impressive niche by delivering legitimate performance at surprisingly reasonable prices. This Taiwanese company started in 1986 and quickly gained respect by focusing on value engineering rather than marketing hype. Okuma reels consistently punch above their weight class, offering features and build quality that rival much more expensive alternatives. Their Samar spinning reels and Komodo bait casters provide smooth operation and reliable performance without the premium price tags of Japanese manufacturers. Serious anglers who fish frequently but can't justify spending thousands on equipment often turn to Okuma as their go-to brand. The company proves that you don't need to sacrifice quality to keep fishing affordable. Now let's shift gears and talk about a brand that owns the competitive bass fishing circuit. Loomis burst onto the scene in the 1970s and immediately started making waves with their innovative bait casting reels. The company's founder, Lou Childry, was obsessed with creating the fastest, most responsive reels possible for tournament bass fishing. Today, Lou's sponsors some of the biggest names in professional bass fishing because their equipment delivers the precise control needed for high-stakes competition. Their Team Lou's series reels feature lightning-fast gear ratios and braking systems that allow tournament pros to make surgical casts into heavy cover. When you're fishing for hundreds of thousands of dollars in prize money, the difference between a good reel and a great reel can determine whether you make the cut or go home empty-handed. But when it comes to pure lure innovation, Strike King has been pushing boundaries for decades, This company doesn't just make fishing lures, they engineer fish catching systems based on scientific research and real-world testing. Their red-eye shad crankbaits and KVD series have become tournament staples because they consistently produce when other lures fail. Strike King's design team works directly with professional anglers to develop lures that solve specific fishing problems. Their Rage Tail soft plastics feature appendages that create incredible underwater action, while their structure spoons are precision-weighted to achieve the perfect flutter on the fall. What separates Strike King from other lure manufacturers is their commitment to constant innovation rather than just copying successful designs. There you have it, folks. Every major fishing brand broken down and explained. From Shimano's precision engineering to Zebco's beginner-friendly designs, each brand has earned its place by excelling at something specific. Whether you're dropping serious cash on Loomis's sensitivity or grabbing an ugly stick that'll outlast your truck, now you know exactly what you're paying for and why. Next time you're standing in that tackle shop, you'll know which brands to reach for based on your fishing style and budget.